Oregon plays Penn State.
Yikes, a hell of a segue.
There we go. Big Ten championship game coming up on Saturday. It'll be heard right here on the Fan. It'll be a 5 o'clock kick. Our pregame coverage will start at 1 p.m. Whoa, with Ducks game day, leading you up to that 5 o'clock kick from Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. This is going to be a fun one, man. Look, Oregon has an opportunity to come in, and this is so fun with the realignment in college football. We've talked about this, and all 4 conferences have newcomers that are vying for bids to the playoff. Oregon in the Big Ten, Texas in the SEC, Arizona State in the Big 12, and SMU in the ACC. And
if somebody had written that into a movie script, I'd be like, no, stop it. That's dumb.
It's great.
It's so not believable.
It's the best.
Yeah.
And the only thing that would have made it better is if Oklahoma didn't suck and both of them came into the SEC and ended up in the SEC title game. Like, I would say that, like, the fever dream of having Texas and Texas A&M play back-to-back weeks, like, that would have just made Texas A&M insufferable, and I wouldn't have wanted that, and I don't want that on anybody. And Georgia took care of that a couple weeks before.
Do we want to revisit the yell practice?
No. Complex. Compound.
It's so cringy.
We're gonna beat the ever-loving. Where is that?
I
Is
took
that
it off.
gone?
Hang on, I'll find it.
I just need some of the, like, I maybe need a couple drops out of that. Just like, we're gonna beat the ever-loving. But we have new blood that has come in, and it's upsetting the world of college football, man. And there is a lot of, with the new playoff, the new format, having 12 teams in, everybody's bitching about who's going to be the last team in. And the other one is that people are looking at the bracket and having not legitimate. It's an illegitimate conversation here.
Okay.
Is the 5 seed a better path than getting a first-round bye?
I think it's just dumb.
It is not. I understand you will look at it, and there's some iterations that you will look at and say, well, you have a better chance of beating this team, this team, and this team. The reality of it is you're going to have to beat great teams if you're going to get to the mountaintop. What is the goal? Is the goal to there's a finite number of teams that can win the national title, right? So is the goal to win the national title, or is the goal to get the easiest path to get as far as you can?
Right.
And the goal is to win the national title. And you're going to have to play really good teams to get there. And having one less game sets you up better for playing in mid-January to play for the national championship. That's the reality. That is a statement of fact right there, is that the fewer games you play, the easier your path is. Because if you look at it and you were to say, you know, the way that the bracket would shake out if you just took it for what it is right now, which I don't think this is the way it's going to look.
Right.
I thought Joel Klatt, when he went on with Colin, he threw his bracket up. I think it's probably going to look pretty close to the one that we're going to see.
Mm-hmm.
But people are saying, well, Ohio State or Tennessee, or do you want to play, you know, Arizona State and then Boise State as your first 2 games? It's like, you'd rather just not play a game, because take this into consideration, right? Say Oregon wins the Big Ten title game on Saturday. On January 8th, that Sunday, we will know what the bracket is and how it looks. From January 8th till January 20th, when those first-round playoff games start, your staff can look at both of the teams that are coming down your pipeline.
Mm-hmm.
You can start a game plan for both of those teams that's a 12-day run-up.
Yeah.
Before they actually play. You will get to sit back, watch that game, and have your eyes, knowing what you have already over the previous 12 days taken a look at, prepared for, and then watch that team play.
Yeah.
Watch those 2 teams play. The winner of that game, then, you scrap half of the work that you guys did, and then you narrow it down and you say, what did we see in that game? And then you move forward from January 20th or 21st to January 1st when that game happens in the Rose Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think that that's valuable preparation? And by the way, those 2 teams that are playing the week before are going to beat their brains in against each other trying to get to you.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and do you not also think that kind of preparation from a guy like Dan Lanning is not going to pay off too?
I think it'd be pretty good.
The guy, he's a little insane when it comes to prep.
Yeah. But it's a conversation I've heard come up quite a bit. It's crazy to me.
Yeah, it don't make no sense.
No, like you're gonna have the goal is to win a national title. That it is not a hey, let's see how many teams, how far we can get in it. No, you are in a position to where you should say what sets this team up best to win as many games as possible. And that is playing as few games as possible.
Right, yeah. And so would you rather play one game against a really good team or 2 games against 2 pretty darn good teams?
Who are also top 12 teams in the country.
Yes.
All right, let's take a look at this Big Ten title game, though, because the styles make fights, and this matchup's going to be a fun one with Oregon and Penn State. They're not as different as you think. Danny and Dusty on the Fan.